Chronicle of the Crowns session 14. Now, we unfortunately do not have Tyrell with us today because of unfortunate circumstances. Now, we're going to carry on like a bunch of wayward sons. And last time, some stuff went down. And I think we're going to start with the bursting out of the wild hunt from the opera hall. And this is going to be a case of Glorvir trying to get on one of these riders' horses, I think. So there's going to be a bit of grappling as the rider is dashing by, and then Glorvir is intent on doing something about this because one of the earlier riders just snatched up Tyrell onto the mount and is speeding away. So Glorvir is going to try and do something about a second rider, maybe obtain a mount or otherwise get on board.
Yeah, and just to sort of like detail my plan very broadly, because obviously we're in the sort of opera house, chairs and whatnot. My plan is literally like as the horses go by, presumably down one of the aisles or over the chairs, or whatever.
Yeah,
my plan is literally to like jump up onto one of the chairs, so I'm a bit elevated. Then as it goes past, my plan is to like wait till it's just like it's got a little bit before it gets to me, time it so as I leap it sort of like passes below me, and my plan is just swing with my axe, hopefully knock the rider off, and then just like with my other hand grab onto the saddle so I can like hold on as the horse presumably carries on going in the direction it's going.
Yep, that sounds fantastic. That also sounds like an axe roll.
Yeah.
And if you do have riding, you can fork that in, John.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm just seeing if I have got anything I can fork in. I doubt it, but let's have a look.
I'm not seeing a great deal.
No, I don't think so, realistically. I don't think I've got anything I can fork in. My axe is B5, though, so,
Yeah, that's a good starting point, sure.
Obviously, I'm going to drop my last persona into it.
Yeah, and
that's why I rolled.
I think it's going to be a static obstacle because the rider is not really going to, like, the only thing it would quote unquote defend with or sort of I guess it's going to roll something like, because you want to knock it off, so it's going to roll, I think, fort to not be knocked off.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think that's a good.
Obviously, should I fail to knock it off, my plan is just to like try and stay on the horse basically while he's on there or not.
So if you do fail to knock him off, what'll happen is, you're going to be tangled on the horse and the rider, but the rider is still going to be on the horse.
That's so fine. I'm also good at brawling.
Just slam onto them as they go by. So let's see.
Do I get any bonuses for my dwarven axe? Let me have a look.
Okay, so it's going to be an obstacle 1.
Dwarven axe superior, so it's B6 with my dwarven axe.
Oh, also, it's going to oppose you with a stat. I just realized, and you're rolling a skill.
Yeah.
So
now, obviously, I've not done a tremendous amount of combat with my dwarven superior axe. I've got I, M, and S ratings.
Yeah. That will not super play into it because your intent is not to lop off its head. So we'll deal with that when and if need be.
So would I be rolling? Because my I rating is at B6. So would I be rolling B6 or just my basic?
You don't need to worry about that. That's not a roll at all. That's the coordinate for that's your damage. So
right, I see. Yeah.
If you if you get the lowest, which is the I,
Yeah.
that would mean if you were to, hit the guy, and well, I guess we'll put that in as well.
I
But
was just going
we'll,
to say, do
we'll
I get any bonus for it being like a superior axe? Or
yes, yes. There's different damage ratings in Le Book.
yeah, I just meant like in terms of the skill roll, I suppose, because I'm not
Yeah.
really worried about
So
damage.
the damage rating is going to be the same regardless of the skilled roll. It's a separate thing, but I'll check now. So, do you have like what's the weapon you're using again?
Okay, the weapon I'm using is a dwarven axe. It is a superior axe, superior long axe, basically.
It's the one that you started with.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. Is it a two-hander?
I'd assume so because it's listed as like length long. So
I have to check because the dwarves really
yeah,
is.
yeah,
So let's check this. Okay. Dwarves. It's gonna be superior quality anyway, which is, let's see. All dwarven arms are considered superior quality items. +1 balance die when you're fighting. Right. So, yeah, that would be a two-hander. So it would be a sweet axe. And so it has, what's your power stat?
my power stat is 6, B6.
Six. Okay. Let's look at your character sheet. I just want to see the. Oh, where are we? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
lost John.
Sorry, still
Your
here.
your damage is horrendous. Yeah. So what happens here is, you start with, if you succeed, if you meet the obstacles, you get the bare minimum. You get an incidental hit, which is the I.
Right.
So that's the kind of hit that you deal. You don't need to roll anything. It's just a 6. If you get extra successes and you can increase your, you need. You need 2 extra successes to bump that up to an M.
Okay.
Which would be 11, and then 2 more to put that into S for the grotesque
Nice.
16.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So we'll.
So basic skill roll. So axe is B5. I've got no faults or advantages. 1 for Arthur. So I just need the obstacle then.
Yeah. It's going to be a versus roll, so you can roll against 1, and I'll figure out my stuff.
So it's 3 successes. I'm going to spend a fate point because I've got 2 6s.
Nice.
And they're both 3s, so I don't think that's any additional successes.
Okay, cool. So, in effect, though, you got 6 because he's working with a stat, the writer. So, the writer is now gonna roll for the fort, and obstacle 1. Well, if it wasn't a stat, we would be looking at one of my favorite things, which is sort of figuring out where does the conflict go now, because we're matched, but it's not matched at all. You're twice over with your effective 6 successes. So you rolled 5 dice against 3, and that would be. I'm just looking for the difficulty here so that you can mark it down. So obstacle 3 is a routine for your.
Okay.
For your 5.
And I'm going to mark down that I spent persona on a fate point as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, what happens is you. So, yeah, if you want to, you can spend 2 of your extra successes that you didn't need to succeed. On increasing the damage. So, I'm going to say, if you want to, you can murderize this rider here instead of just pushing them off.
Why not?
Yep. So you leap, time slows down. What happens as the pale? We can tell that this is an elven figure of some kind. Pale, sort of withered looking, sort of old elf with a shock of white hair just billowing in the air behind it. As it rides forward, just trying to get as fast as it can out of the opera hall. It's not really looking for any dwarf, aerial attacks. And then
they
you
never
jump.
expect the dwarves from the skies.
No, they don't. The death from above. They never expect it. Yeah. So the hunt rider is conflicting with you, John. What happens when you meet? You can murder them.
Yeah. So basically, I'm leaping with the double-handed axe. I imagine as I leap, I basically swing it into him, sort of like slicing into his midriff. He, no doubt, like a Wilhelm scream, like topples off the horse and like smashes and rolls into a load of chairs and whatnot, causing a lot of like wood to spray up into the air. Sort of like, imagine I sort of like go over a bit, and then I'm basically sort of like with my like muscular dwarven legs, like grabbing onto the horse and like pressing him with my knees. My plan is then to like swing my double-handed axe like back up into like the sort of holster, for want of a better term, I've got on my back. Then sort of like grab hold of the front of the saddle, the bit that sticks up, assuming the horse is going to carry on in the direction it's going.
Yeah, it does.
And then to like pull out the open hand, because that's a one-hander. And then my plan is just to basically, because I'm assuming it's not an unreasonable thing that because I've seen Terrail riding to know that like generally, in layman's terms, you like kick your feet to make it go quicker.
Yeah.
So I'll basically be trying to do that. The plan is just to try and like catch up with the one that's got Terrail in the hope that I can, like, with my axe, like knock them off.
That's wonderful. So that's exactly what happens. So you blast out with the hunt from the opera.
I'm also, as I sort of blast out with the hunt, using my conspicuous ability, because obviously I'm very loud, as we all know.
Obnoxiously so.
Obnoxiously loud, yeah. So basically, obviously I won't go into the stream of obscenities I'm going to be launching, but my basic plan is that as I'm going, I'm going to be like cussing the like wild hunt and like shouting at the one of them who's got Terrail on, in the hope that they'll be like, oh yes, we've made it away and we've got this person. Then they'll sort of like hear this dwarf like screaming obscenities at them, look back and see me on the horse like waving my axe, and that might cause them to slow down a bit or amend their, because again I'm still sort of in the back of my mind trying to buy time for Cameron to like get people out and do whatever he's going to do. So I'm just trying to delay them as much as I can, basically, and get Terrail back if I can.
Yep. No, that's a good setup action. So you can do.
No one steals an elf.
Yeah, you can definitely do that as a setup for the next thing. So feel free to give that a roll.
Okay. I would like to know, can I fork my ugly truth into it as I'm sort of describing the horrendous fate that their friend has met at the good dwarven steel of my axe, and also sort of telling them that like they're basically going to go the same way if they don't like give me about my elf.
Yeah, and the that's kind of because you've got you know previous like you can point to it when it happened last time,
Yeah,
so you can, yeah, sure.
sweet. Okay, so conspicuous is B3. And I suppose I can fork intimidation in.
Yeah, no, that's yep, that's even that. There's very little barrier for that.
Sweet. Okay, so that's two forked in. I've got no alpha dice to put into it, so I just need the obstacle.
So
All the while in the back of my head, I'm like, come on, Cameron, summon up something amazing to take down these rapscallions.
ne'er do wells,
That's it, these vagabonds.
loiterers. um, I guess it's gonna be equivalent to on a busy street.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, it's about to get busy. 3.
Okay. Oh, unless I've got any sixes.
Ooh,
It's a terrible roll. It's a terrible roll.
look at that Matthew ass roll.
That's it, man.
Oof.
Oh, I've completely Cameron that.
Yeah, that's what we call in the business doing
Don't
a Cameron.
appreciate the association there, guys. Thanks very much.
To be fair, though, all I've done is like fail to slow them down. I am still on the horse.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm good with that.
No, but you yell about this, and yeah, it's going to agitate one of them to no, it's not going to be a rider. It's going to be one of the wolves running along, because it's sort of noticed that there's basically like there's some sort of threatening behavior going on, like someone shouting for blood, basically. So one of the wolves is gonna, as the hunt is blasting out into the streets, one of the wolves is gonna make a pass at you,
That's fine.
and it's gonna do that with where is it? Savage Attack, which is a classic that I enjoy.
Nice.
That's gonna be this. It doesn't really get any because this isn't really like a concerted effort. It's gonna be like, oh, what now? Whoosh.
Yeah, it's like a quick sort of skirmishy like blow, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a pass, not really a targeted thing at all. And it's going to. I guess this is going to be a versus roll. So you see the wolf come in. The wolf leaps a little bit, sort of longer and higher in as they're bounding along,
Okay.
and there's a like a cruel clawed paw stretching your way. These wolves, as mentioned before, extremely large,
massive.
sort of 5 foot at the shoulder, just big. So even if the sort of canine paw isn't really the killing weapon, but it does have very large claws because the scale of economy is massive. So
I presume it's attacking me with like a skill. Is that savage attack a skill?
yeah, savage attack is its skill. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
what do you do?
I
to
would
resist?
like to. I presume I can't defend with my axe because I attacked with that.
I mean, you could.
All right,
That's
yeah,
fine.
in which case I'll go
Yeah,
axe.
so-
So I've got the open hand out now.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So you're batting the wolf away. So
Yeah,
you just
again.
roll your axe against one, and then. So that's That's a 4 from the wolf.
okay, I've got B5. Come on, Come on. And it's obstacle 1.
Yep. Oh, one short. Do you have 6s? You do 3 6s.
I've got all the fate points in the world, so best
Yeah.
believe I'm spending 1 to reroll them.
Yeah. This would be the time.
Oh, 2 6s.
Roll them again.
Come on.
Nice. One more. So that's
6 successes.
That's 7.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what's your what am I looking at here? 7 against my, and your, what is your thing here? You if you want to, you can kill the wolf.
Yeah. Damn right I want to.
So the wolf goes ha, and you, I guess because it's the paw that is reaching you with the claws. Do you lop off the entire leg?
I like to think as it sort of come. I know technically the open hands are like 2-handed, but basically what I'm thinking is as it sort of comes across, and like if I'm sort of sat here on the horse, as its sort of paw comes in the side like that, I imagine I just like lop it off, so like the wolf falls down, and I'm basically planning on like with my free hands sort of like grabbing hold of the paw, because like best believe that's going to be like a trophy of my victory afterwards.
It's going on your wall. So you lop off the paw, and the wolf just like crashes into the ground, and it comes down at a very, very awkward angle. And as you ride on, behind you, there's this like, and the wolf just lies still, sort of slowly sliding on the frosty pavement, cobblestones, because it's the streets now. So that wolf is gone.
That's what you get from messing with the children of the mountain.
Right. So that was a difficult roll for your axe.
Yeah.
Which is very valuable. So make sure you mark that down. So.
Oh, I've got to put down. I spent a couple of fate on that as well. So, no, 1 fate it was. Yeah. So there we go. Oh, I only need 1 difficult and like 1 of the highest, and I'm up on my axe.
So, the unfortunate thing here is the riders in front of you have gained some distance because of the shit that's been happening here. So, it's a little bit more difficult for you now to try and do anything about that. But if you want to, now is where we're moving on to your like last ditch attempt. It was like, come on, horse, we need to catch these guys. So
I'm just like slapping the horse on the back, trying to get it to go quicker.
Yeah. So now would be the time, John, where we roll riding.
Yeah, so it'll be an ability for me.
So let's see about that.
This will be the bit where I'm like, yes, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to.
Elevator music.
Although to be fair, even if I fall off the horse now, I'm still going to swagger out like a pimp. So I'm like, jumped on a horse, like hacked a member of the wild one down, got tagged by a giant wolf, killed that as well.
Yeah, you tagged one of the hunters and you tagged one of the wolves. So that's not a bad for a day's job. And you haven't really, like, you've done a very good job.
Yeah, wait till I don't see Terrail. I'm going to be like, did you see me like trying to rescue you?
Yeah. Let's see. Is this? I need to quickly check if this is a one of those. What do you call them? Sort of like shield, where it's not about rolling that, but being able to use it.
Yeah.
I need to look that up.
Fine.
Just to be sure.
I'm just waiting for Cameron outside here, so it's like, yes, I'm going to.
Give me
Cavalry
back
man.
my.
Just like seats flying up as like an armored dwarf like tumbles through them all.
It's not. It's an actual thing that you roll. So, yeah. So it's based on will. So you can add that onto your learning thing on your sheet there to accompany your previous one.
Firebombs.
Firebombs and horses. The Glarvier story.
How do you set the ability to be will? It's like default. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, yeah. And then once that's all set up, I'm too quick to put the fucking thing away. Let me get the right chapter here. I do have an obstacle in mind, which I guess we'll just go with that instead of actually researching this right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an act that requires expertise now because it's the wild hunt and they are already a fair distance. So it's an obstacle 5, which
will be double to 10.
Which
I'm gonna need some 6s. I understand.
Yeah,
it's fine. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
I've got no advantages, no Arthur dice left. Base obstacle 5. Additional obstacle 0. Yeah.
Nah.
It's not happening. 2 out of 10.
Yeah. So I think where this ends up is you ride for a time and then you the riders disappear into the distance. Your horse starts bucking, and the scene end is where you and the horse are in some like distant cobbled street of Riathil, and the horse, which is this like sort of mid-range gray thing with stark black eyes, it's sort of like it's like snorting at you and sort of behaving like I'm the boss. I'm the boss here, dwarf. And you can tell like the hunt went that way and there's no getting them anymore.
Yeah,
and now the horse is like,
I've lost the hunt, but I'm definitely going to try and keep hold of this horse. If I can tame this beast.
Yeah. The horse is like, it's not bolting away, which is a good thing for you in this quest. But it's currently being like, you want to go, dude? But yeah, that's where we sort of leave Glarvier, where he's like blood dripping axe and wolf paw in either hand, watching like, damn the hunt, and then turning to this horse who's like, you want to go, buddy? You want to go for a second round? And Cameron, meanwhile, you and the steward Ostor, you successfully evacuated everyone who could leave.
Yeah.
And you're on the cart, and if you want to, you can be well on your way away from the opera house. Because Ostor is there to be the getaway driver, and he is going to do that if you ask him to.
Yeah, I will.
So for the first moment, you were just going away. And then
I got this. There's 2 things Okay, so yeah, I wanna. I don't know what's happened to Tyrell.
He went in, and then, or he was sort of around the entrance, trying to decide between trying to protect you and going in and protecting Glarvier, I guess.
It's the thing I'm going to say to Oscar: take us to the tower, or the biggest
Tower of
church,
Wisdom,
or the biggest church you can find. I need to do it. I need to do something about it. I need to do something before the city is ripped apart by these riders.
Well, it's going to be a church then, because they're easy to find. Like, not the tower isn't, because the tower is right there, because it's the tallest thing in the city. But like, the tower is right there. But we've got shrines.
Big shrine. I need a big one.
Big shrine.
One that's going to have the.
Okay.
Second thing I'm going to do before I sort of like scoop up my familiar.
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of look it in the eyes and just say to it, "Find Glavia, lead him back to me."
It licks its nose, nods at you,
Keep him safe, and the elf if you can. And
and then you toss it.
Get out.
Yeah, so it goes. So Ostar whips the horses into a gallop because he is very appreciative that when, even if it was a momentary sight, but when you see the moon start to bleed blood on the city that you're in, he's going, and he's gonna find. I guess let's roll for him how well he's gonna do this. And this is gonna be this is just gonna be
Can he fork in like what the fuck the moon just bled?
the when the moon bleeds wise.
Yeah.
One of the more niche.
One of the more. I
things.
mean, that's the way to get the right skill, right time.
Yeah, it is. That
moon
is
bleeding skill. You have
like,
that. Yeah.
Like you start the game with something ridiculous like when the moon bleeds blood on the city that I'm in wise, and then that happens, you go ka-ching. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a die of fate because it's not really about him, it's just the situation that what it allows you to do. So let's give it a go. Okay, so it's gonna be like a chapel. It's not gonna be a large church temple type structure. It's going to be a place where you could, if you wanted to, fit in 40 people sort of semi uncomfortably. It has all the properties that you know because you've been around. You know what a place like this is from the inside, and you know where the summoning circle is. It's in the sort of back where the main sort of shrine portion is. There's the sort of seating and various other stuff, and then at the back there's the sort of altars and the shrine where the flame is kept, because every structure like this has the flame. It's not the flame which is kept in the sort of main temple, the large temple, which is also in the city, but every shrine and temple of any size has this like fire that they keep going, because that's kind of what they're about.
Right.
So yeah, you've Oster pulls the horses into a halt on a side alley, which your cart barely fits, and you're right next to the thing.
I'm gonna stride in like I.
Oster yells after you, like, "What are we doing here, though? Is it gonna take long? Should I come in?"
Come with me. But
he I guess he ties the horses to like one of the ornaments of the shrine on the outside, just like puts the horses there and shuffles in behind you. He pulls on his hood.
I take it you saw what happened out to the moon.
Yeah. Kind of keen to get away from here, though. So yeah, if we could be quick, that would be wonderful.
We can't run from this, Oscar. We need to do something about it.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but I'm not really,
You're gonna see
when that happens, I don't know what to do, and that's when I would consult someone who does. Do you know what this is?
It's bad.
What we need to do?
It's the worst. It's the worst that's happened.
In general?
Yes.
All right, then.
But
what do we do?
I'm a Dark Watcher, and I'm going to do something about it. You're going to see some stuff tonight. Not many have lived to see what I'm about to do.
I've seen a lot of stuff.
You ain't seen this.
It wasn't a boast. It's just like I'm hoping that that's enough. I'm not doubting you because you've got the reins here.
I'm striding through like I'm confident, like I belong here. Like this is totally normal.
It's empty. There's no one there.
Okay, yeah. I'm heading straight to the summoning room, and I'm going to start just doing the practice routine.
It's a circular area with it's all set up for the rituals of summoning. Everything you need is in there.
And I'm gonna start directing him to like grab this, move that, like
Yeah, no,
repair
he's
this.
gonna help you. He's gonna be a extra pair of hands.
Let me tell you a story, Oscar. What does a man do when he reaches the top of his pedestal? Reaches the as far as he can go in his career. Start asking the wrong kind of questions.
No, he starts decaying. I think that's what happens to everyone with the fancy title.
We do all die in our time.
Yeah, we do, but it gets quicker if you're rich. I
That's
find
true.
you might linger around, but it's not the same. I've seen beggars on the street with happier lives than nobles, and that's saying something, I think.
So they have a simpler life. This tortured.
So
life.
he's lighting up candles as you
Yeah,
talk.
he's going
He's
for
being
it.
busy as we do this.
Essentially, to keep me calm, I'm sort of telling him like how I ended up in this situation the last time. So I'm like, yeah, I was top of the tower. I was the best summoner in this place. My name was known throughout the city, not as a bishop, but as a summoner, as a man of learned craft. I wasn't a dark watcher back then.
Mhm.
And as you may have noticed, I have a strange thing with my eyes. And I thought,
Yeah,
I
so do many
understand.
cursed people.
Some say it's a curse, others say it's just a fleck of history.
I mean,
You know,
it's once you go beyond these borders up in the north, it's a curse.
they're not wrong, but also they're not quite right either.
No, but
Truth is always more complicated.
they know how the foxfires are in the north.
Do they?
Not
So did
originally
I.
there from myself, but that's how it
So
is.
did I. I wanted to get answers. I wanted to know
Hmm.
what this meant, and I knew I was one of the only people in this city, on this continent, possibly in the world, that could actually get those answers.
Hmm.
And I went too far. I tried to get them, got what I wanted. It's not
But you
possible.
you cracked the moon.
I didn't crack the moon. No, didn't do that. That's not on me. But I brought the thing into the world that did, while trying to summon something else. Tonight, I'm going to try and get that thing here.
I've messed up in my life many times. Sounds like you've had a bad time.
It's not been the best few years. But weirdly enough, the last couple with Glavier and Tyrell have been some of the best. Dangerous, argumentative sometimes, and a lot of drinking, but it's been good. And if I can do one last good thing, then this is it. I may not be able to save the world, but I can avenge it. From whatever that thing
No,
is.
it's you do whatever you need to here, because I don't think I can do anything about this, but I'll say this much and then I'll be quiet. Vengeance is a game for fools, really. It's
That's
again,
true.
it comes back to titles. You have a title, right? Some kind.
In the manner of speaking, yes.
I find it comes with titles. It's a luxury for some people to enjoy. It's a fool's game. You can't win with vengeance.
No,
But
I've never
that's
really,
me. That's me.
I've never
You do
really,
you.
I've never really had the chance to sit down and talk with you in such a way, Oscar. You actually, you bear a certain wisdom. I think you do.
I'm rather quiet because it's kind of it's very good for what I did in Strathfell, and also the elf.
Mhm.
Sort of spend most of my time watching out for the potential blade coming from that way. So kind of busy most of the time. Doesn't really like me. I get it. Not many people
He
do.
wouldn't cut you down. It's not his vibe. That's not the way he works. If he was going to do that, he would let you know at least. He's polite.
Yeah, but I think he's sort of he's getting there. But I get it though. It's fine. He's not the first, so and probably not the last, depending on how this goes.
Oh, we'll see.
But I don't know if there's anything beyond any of this, but if we make it through, I guess we should talk more. I've been very reticent because we got off on a bit of a rough footing because you came into my city, which I need to be on the lookout for, and well, we did what we had to do at that point in time. It's kind of soured it, I think, a little bit.
You can turn it around.
And I make a point of sort of making it a little bit sour, test people, see how they react, get their measure. That's what Beric has me there for.
I can see why Beric made use of you. As I'm doing like the final preparations, I'm like, I'll be focused.
Mm-hmm.
You had a good eye.
No, it's
You may not be a good man, but you are a useful man.
Nobody's a good man. Nobody's a good anything. We're just what we are, and I guess Beric has me try and figure out what people are. So
Shame you didn't get to see the theater. I think you would have liked the performance.
no, I'm good.
It was quite the show.
No, I'm much better suited to picking the pockets of people who leave the theater than actually going inside. More on that if we survive.
Deal.
I think the water is about done boiling, and I think this is all the candles in the place.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Thank you. That's excellent. Strap yourself in, Oscar. You're going to see some shit tonight. Okay.
So what do I do? Do I just
see these lines? See these lines? Don't cross them.
Should I put the benches against the doors there, or like how does this?
Can't hurt.
Okay, so he goes, and you hear the as he drags the wooden benches on stone floors and all that. Keep an ear
out for a disgruntled dwarf who's probably had to traverse half around the city to find me. And he will come looking for me because I know Glavy. He takes his oaths seriously. Okay. Deep breath. This time's for keeps, Cameron. Okay.
Yeah, so,
and yeah. As I make my circuit, I'm going to make my circles roll now. I guess.
Summoning, or
summoning?
rather, if depending on how much time did you spend on this, are you doing anything extra for the prep? And also, I did mention as in the pregame stuff that there would be a circle here, so we need to determine how good the circle is.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. You circles. Yeah. So you mean cercination?
Yeah. Sorry, cercination.
Cercination. Yeah. You don't need to roll unless you want to spend the time to do it yourself. There's already going to be a circle here, but I need.
If there's already a circle there, then I will use it.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to determine sort of semi randomly estimate like how good it is.
I don't know if I need to make a roll, but I wanted to do some like ritual prep to try and better my chances of summoning something from the fog.
Let's investigate this because we can do a bit of floating time here, even though we're sort of trying to do this on the quick. Cercination, here we go. Simply set your obstacle and test your skill. If successful, cercination obstacle equals advantage dice for the summoning test. And it's an hour per obstacle point. So I think because this is like a chapel type, it's not a large church. It wouldn't have the like big intricate ones. This is sort of like the working summoner's circle. So I'm gonna roll the die of fate. If it comes out as a 1, it's a 3 dice thing, like a good circle.
Okay.
For the chapel, and if it's not a 1, it's going to be a 2 dice circle for the working Covenant Summoner.
Okay.
It's a 2 dice circle. So that's what was there, and you can tell when you come in. If you want to try and make a better one, you can, but you need to spend an hour per point.
The longer
So
I
minimum
wait,
3 if you even want to try and make a better one.
the longer I wait, though, the worse it's going to get for everyone in the city, right?
Yeah, probably. And an hour is a long time for the first elf in the world that descended into darkness and was consumed by it
Yeah.
to kill things that move.
Right. Okay. Then I guess I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. All right. So
But if I can do like a little ritual thing around the circle to try and increase my chances of getting it off, then I will. But
yeah. Let's see what can we do to affect this. You have your orders, which let's actually investigate that.
I've got a reputation which gives me a 3 bonus, which is the. I don't know if I have an order bonus or anything like that.
You would have to, which is a 0, but you need to
Yeah.
have that in order to be able to do this. But it's
Yeah.
a 0, so it's not additional dice. So let's see, reputations, which you do have, and then your ancestral effigy doesn't affect this because you're gonna shoot for a higher spirit.
Yep.
And
Going all the way, boys.
you haven't yet summoned this, which I guess if we go with the last idea that you threw out, if we're going with that, I guess technically you have summoned this once before.
I've tried to, yeah.
So you would have named it at that point. You would have gotten the name because you sort of no, but we established you messed that up, so you don't have the name at the ready. That's fine. Okay, so there's not a lot that can be done, but there's link tests that we can do. So astrology, demonology, empiralia, folklore, symbology, doctrine, and obscure history can be rolled as a link test. Now, what does that mean? It means if you succeed in your roll in one of these and then link that into your summoning roll that you rolled immediately afterwards, or the next thing that it's sort of like a part of the process.
Yeah.
So first you roll for doctrine and then you roll for summoning, and that's how you do it. If you succeed in the first roll, you get an extra die for the proceed.
If you fail, there's no negative.
If you fail,
That really is the key thing. Is if I can pull it off, that's great. But if I don't, is it worth not doing it to?
It's been a while since we did link tests, so I'll have to remind myself. That's help. That doesn't really help, ironically. Link test, here we go. If you fail, you get +1 obstacle, which you are not short on. So you probably don't want that.
Oh, God.
So if you link test something before you're summoning, you probably want to succeed.
The risk is too great. That's the problem. I've got a bunch of stuff I could link in, but the risk is too great because I can't afford the extra obstacle. Might just have to go with what I got. So I get 2 from the circle.
Yep.
3 from the affiliation or the
reputation. The reputation, yeah.
And then my actual summoning.
And then your actual summoning, yes. And if you have wises that apply, those apply, which let's see.
It was the only one that
yeah.
Well, if this thing originally somehow is linked to Del Siriaf, then that would apply, right?
No.
But nah. No, would noble apply if it's a noble?
No, it's
No. Reaching here,
yeah,
reaching.
yeah. But this is what Burning Wheel is about.
Yeah.
It's about figuring this shit out. So no.
Okay. So yeah.
I guess this is a good time for us to determine and
Will
for
my
you
head
to answer.
explode?
I want you to actually answer. You determine. You figure this shit out. When you did this the first time,
Hmm.
did you fork in your apocalypse wise?
Yes, I probably did.
Okay, so you can fork it in now as well because it applies,
Okay.
which tells us something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would, because I believe it links to the darkness and everything.
It's
That was
not about
true.
your belief; it's about actual truth.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah, actual truth. So that means I get 2 extra dice from that.
Yeah. So let's go from the very beginning. So your summoning dice.
Terribly generous of you. Can we pop this in? Okay.
Yeah. So your skill itself.
6.
Then we fork in your apocalypse wise.
8.
Your apocalypse wise is how much?
2.
You get 1 die. So
Okay, so 7.
7. And then we go into the summoning other stuff, which you only have the reputation.
3.
So 3 extra on top. So
Then
10.
the circle as well, which gives me an extra 2.
Circle gives you 2, so 12.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
And then if you have Artha,
Yep, I do have Arthur.
you could put in some Artha as well.
If I do that, though, that leaves me dry for bargaining, which will come immediately after.
Yeah, it will. It will. If you want to bargain, that is. If you don't just want to take the deal that will be on the table, which, depending on how this goes, might not be very good.
Thing is, it's either me or Oscar's soul in the bargaining.
Oh, you're volunteering him already.
Well,
Nice.
he's there.
He's available, so
He is there. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna. Fuck. This is hard. This is a really hard decision
you're
because if I succeed, then I've got the problem of then dealing with the thing. If I
Yep.
fail, I've then got to deal with whatever shows up. It's
Mhm.
like.
I guess it's a question of like, do you want to try and make it as possible to get the thing that you want to turn up, or do you want to risk not getting the exact thing you wanted to turn up and then maybe have a better chance of negotiating with?
Okay, well, I'm a Dark Watcher, and I'm here to stop the darkness, and I'm here to get the crown. That's my mission, and that's. I need to stop this from happening now, because otherwise the world doesn't matter if I find the crown. The world's screwed. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use I'm going to use it all. I'm going to just burn my persona and get it here.
I will highlight that if you have one persona and you take a mortal wound, you can declare the will to live. So having one persona in your back pocket is always a great idea
Okay,
if
I'll
you
use
want to
2.
crawl
I'll use my
away
2.
from the apocalypse.
I'll use my 2. So when I fork things in, I just add that in as the advantage thing, right?
It will tell you in the roll sequence.
Okay, so I'm going to make the roll. Okay, fork. So 1 advantage, right?
Yeah, so let's see. So the fork bit is where you include everything except your 2 persona points. So the fork thing is where you put in 6, because you wear 12 dice and you have 6 skills. So you get extra 6 advantage, whatever.
Yep.
Shit on top, and then you can put in 2 in Artha, because that's
6.
how many you spend.
So 6 bonus plus my, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Artha this
is the biggest roll.
This is the biggest roll for the most dangerous skill that we have ever rolled in this campaign so far, with the highest stakes as well. So Matthew, now that you have marshaled your considerable resources for this momentous task, please reveal to us, what is the spirit that you're trying to call up? Like what are you calling up from beyond the skein of the world?
So while while I'm obviously cursed, as they say, and I have I'm linked to something terrible. But within that terribleness, there is a flicker of the divine, of the good, because it does not wholly corrupt the person who suffers from this condition. There is a flicker of just tracing it back to the source, which is what I was trying to do when I was at the tower, was to summon, and it was obviously reading the text and the history, it was this kind of fox spirit that was trying to protect humanity eons ago. Some say it was humanoid, others say it was a kind of a many-tailed fox. Some would say 3 representing the moons, others would say it represented the virtues, vice. It doesn't have a defined version, but usually it was fox-like, but with humanoid proportions. So large, flowing. You could hear music when it would move. Such things. These are things described well before I was born, before my line became what it was. And yeah, I can feel the same pull as I'm essentially using myself almost as a focusing point to go through and draw it out. I'm uniquely qualified to do this. And as I say, like as I summon this thing, I say, before I tried, I did it in arrogance. I did it out of pride. I did it out of a misplaced sense of privilege and desire to know beyond my means. This time it is not for me. It is for my people. It is for the people that I used to represent. The people my family used to safeguard. It's for the crown. It is to save those that are lost. It is to protect those that have done nothing but exist. And my doppelganger has tried to draw into darkness. I bring you forth.
So you are basically doing the same ritual that got you in trouble 8 years ago.
But this time with a purer purpose, symbolically a purer purpose this time. And it was the first time it was just for me, because I was like, I want to know, which obviously ties into my instinct that I want forbidden knowledge, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So you're recreating the same ritual that sort of got your life sort of sidetracked so many years ago.
Things have changed. The moon's bleeding.
Yeah, that they say that's the best time to do the same mistake.
Oh God, okay.
There's for everyone currently present and perhaps watching from home now or in the future.
Why?
Cameron Redwin, the summoner extraordinaire, has 14 dice, which is an extraordinary amount.
That's more than
It's an incredible amount by all measures in Burning Wheel. 4 successes and 1 6.
So the 1 6 I can re-roll?
You can re-roll that 1 6.
I will re-roll it, because I'm gonna. You never know. Imagine just start off a chain of 1 6s.
Look at the man go. 1 6.
Right. So I can
5
roll
successes.
Again.
Can he make it to 9?
Can he do it? Okay.
If you pull this off.
Oh no, that would be no. It's not going to happen mathematically.
6 successes. Can he do it?
Oh my God! No, it's not going to. Yes, no.
7 successes. Can he do this?
No, I don't like the way this is going. Okay.
That is 8.
6, 8.
That is 8. So
how the? If I could just get one more dice, one more success.
Mate, that was amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing, and everything about this fits in with what's about to happen.
Can I spend another? Can I? Wait, no, I can't do that. I can't spend fate to re-roll dice that I've rolled 6s on. No, that doesn't work.
No, you did it correctly, and this you ended up with 8 against 9. Sorry.
God damn it!
You snatched almost complete victory from the abyss. Oh man. You got as many successes with your base roll as you did with the re-rolls. Incredible.
That is incredible.
Okay, let me see. First off, I'm trying to figure out which kind of roll this was for you. Obstacle.
So that was.
So that would be then.
Yeah.
Because you have such a giant stack here. So what's the algorithm here? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So
I got to 8. I got to 7 there, and I was like,
would
he's starting
be-
to believe.
oh yeah, it's going to be a routine. Yeah, it's going to be a routine. So no, that was incredible, Matthew. So you, oh, John's away. Let's wait for him to be here.
I've spent 2, man. I've now spent 8 persona and 2 fate on that skill.
Bad.
And it's only worked the once.
But to be fair, though,
man.
you shot for an obstacle 9 and you almost made it. So.
Oh, and I'm just a human.
Mm-hmm.
Only there was a way to get an extra die. If only there was a way I could think of.
Yeah, the that mm-hmm.
All I could think of.
But there's nothing to be done at this point now.
No.
I think the one thing that we could have done is if you could have somehow circled up like another wizard and then successfully convinced them to come here and help you do this. That might have been a source of extra dice. Okay, so now that we have the full crew on board, you stand in the on the edge of the summoning circle, and you finish your conjuration. You say that before you did it in arrogance and out of like a sense of like self-aggrandizement, I guess. And you harness these incredible powers. Like you can, the whole place it thrums with the power of your working here. And Ostor has barricaded the back door, or the front door, the only door, and has taken one of the benches and uses it as cover at the far end. There's the air is so charged with your power that it snaps out all the candles. You can still feel the process moving, like your spell is working, but it's too much for mere fire to be here anymore. So all the candles blast out and you are left in complete darkness, but you can, with your ability now to feel, and as you are in control of the spell, like you didn't succeed on the roll, you do succeed on what you're trying to do. It just don't work out the way you want it to, but you don't lose control or anything. You harness this absolutely staggering amount of power, and you make the world anew with your will, and you open up the skin of the world to bring in this spirit that you have like a sketch of what it is in your mind with no details, because the last time you did this, it didn't go well enough for you to actually learn much. You have ideas and guesses, but not really a lot of knowledge. So in the darkness, you force the power to open the bridge from the other side into this world for this creature, and the pressure releases as something arrives. It's in complete darkness, so you have difficulty seeing right now, but you sense a presence in the circle in front of you. It is not a fortress circle, so
No, I
it's
didn't want to be rude and sort of trap the thing, because that would not be a great way to start off a
it's a good point for
conversation.
negotiating, right? So the power lingers in the air, part of it, because that's the connection that's going on here. Sorry, trying to get hiccups here. Get some water. So there's a stillness now for a moment. Do you do anything in the sort of quiet moment here?
I get on my knee and I kind of like, in a respectful gesture, kind of bow my head and say,
God damn it.
shit, I fucked up. I mean, no, I say, thank you now for coming in this darkened hour. I truly know not if you are the one that I seek, but you answered the call, and I hope that you will not be displeased in my wish to discuss a very important matter with someone such as yourself.
There are two sort of human eye-sized fox eyes that open in the darkness. They shed enough sort of internal light that you can see them. Fucking hell. Apparently the spirit has hiccups. Yeah, so you can see these two fox eyes in the darkness, sort of fairly high up, as if it was like a person maybe standing there and their eyes would be here.
With your consent, I will rise, and hopefully you can understand my tongue. I have spoken to many creatures over the years through my service to this city, a service that you may already know has led to unintended consequences. I hope that you understand our language. I know others.
Provided my hiccups subside, I will continue. We may be safe or not, but I will squeal if not. So there's a delicate voice that reaches out from this figure, and it starts gaining an outline, humanoid, and says, everything that has happened in this city for several years past now has been very intentional. It just was not your intent. You are to be lauded for all that you have done, even if it was with perhaps flawed intent, but you have been very successful nonetheless. Even now, you go beyond my wildest expectations, and after such a long time, it is, I can almost feel something with this sense of surprise that you have given me many times now. What would you have of me?
Thank you for your compliment. I've tried to make the most of the hard-fought wisdom that I gained in the last few years. I seek to do better than my ancestors and leave the world in a better place and not live beyond my means. I seek
You,
simply.
you are every bit the product of your ancestors. It took a very long time for you to appear, but here you are, and what a sight it is. Such a hand you are with the craft. It is a sight to behold, something to even be proud of, perhaps. If such things are something one cares about, I don't think you can fully appreciate just how much better you are than your ancestors. And that too is by intent. And you have made good on every bit of strife endured by them. All the tragedies, the struggles, the hardships, hard fought battles, cruel marriages to cling to power, the occasional dip into near dreadful mixing of bloodlines, the struggling crawl of your ancestors forward toward the moment that you would arrive. You don't yet know it, but perhaps if there is enough time, you will. Perhaps you will appreciate it, though I feel you may feel slighted in the end.
This is not a path that I originally chosen, but I was called to.
No, you have chosen nothing. It was all a part of the plan.
You sound like a friend of mine. To answer your question, I seek only for you to prevent the Wild Hunt from consuming the city, to send them back whence they came, if that is possible, or to
This is
sever
all-
the connection that
This is all you want? You wish me to cast away the first to fall?
And to
The
sever the
hunter of the
connections.
moon? Sever the connection.
Stop them from coming more.
That is a feat of great strength indeed. It took a very powerful bloodline of the ancient elves to sing that into the void and seal it there. The seal has been broken tonight. It will be very challenging now to mend it.
But that is why I came to you, for you have helped us before. Not me, but
I have helped you many times.
it does give Cameron pause.
It is,
Yeah.
I appreciate your limited scope of vision. Don't take this as being derisive towards you. I recognize what you are, for I have made you so. There's no shame in that.
We see I meet another ancestor this evening.
You hear chuckling from the figure in front of you, which is still gaining sort of shape.
Form. Are you willing to aid my cause this night?
You evoke the secret power. I am bound to arrive as long as you hold the power, which, as I have made you so, I know that you will. There is a negotiation to be had between us. What would you have of me? I say now, to completely mend the seal, have the song ring out again now that the wolf song has been released into the world. This isn't merely, Cameron, about putting the water back into the bottle. The situation is now that there is rain across all the world. There will be more water than the bottle can hold now, which, again, it comes back to this. This too was intentional. This was the intent, that the bottle could no longer hold the water. And the ancient elves are no longer here to sing all of the water into the void once more. Apologies for the florid metaphors. It's been such a long time since I've wielded any of it. It must be awfully crude to you, and I apologize for my lack of vim and verve here in my wordplay, but it has been
No,
some time.
I understand your meaning. That what I ask is great. And even
You can start to see some so for the campaign's length, I've been calling them foxfires. I don't know if that is a term that you as players would pick up on, but that's what I've been using. When I say foxfires, what I mean is northern lights.
Yeah.
You can start to see behind this figure that is still sort of coalescing from sort of etheric mists inside the summoning circle. You can start to see in the mix there's like streaks of foxfires.
Ooh. Imagine the light sort of playing around the room a little bit. In
Yeah,
the dark.
there's actually more light in the room now that the foxfires are starting to spark inside this
The
figure.
corner of my eye, just imagine that Oscar's like by the door, like, holy shit.
No, Ostor is like behind the what are they? Words. The fox spirit is not the only one having trouble with words. So the bench, Ostor is hiding behind it, completely motionless. This guy knows how to be not there. He is indeed an expert in not being noticed. So he's exercising all of his expertise because something blew out all the lights, and now you're talking to some ethereal voice. So he knows to keep away.
Also, like, there's a 1,000% chance that thing knows exactly where he is.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Like,
But that's all he can do.
yeah. Setting the terms for this bargain is difficult for my doppelganger. What, for want of a better term, has planned this for several years, all part of the ongoing plan, as you say.
As I was saying, intent has ruled all these years.
So I am sure that they understand that I might have made this course of action and have anticipated it. So I don't believe I can stop everything, but I can give the people time.
Give the people time to do what exactly?
To find themselves, to find their courage. They've been living in darkness for so long, they just don't realize it. It's all Sirius. It's been in ruins as long as I can remember. The dwarves have become so insular and fighting amongst themselves, they have forgotten that it is one thing to have honor. Just take that honor and help people to do the right thing, not to get stuck within the rules. And the elves, well, they've given up on themselves as well as us.
You can hear chuckling from the figure as you mentioned the elves.
I seek the crown, as I'm sure you know, not for my own personal benefit, but to give the world a chance to come back together. As a symbol. It is not. I do not seek the power. I have tasted power. I have no need for more. I've seen the consequences of misuse of that. I guess that was a lesson perhaps you meant to teach me when you did not come the first time. Assuming you are, but I think you are. Just like a fox, you are hard to...
Lessons in power are complex, I feel like, and a lot of it is to do with the fact that lessons in power can be taken both ways, several ways even, by the learner, and that is a very difficult thing to change on the teacher's part once the lesson has been sort of imbibed. But you have been very cautious with the power gifted to you, which I given all the givens, has served all of us very well, I would say.
I learned my lesson for overreaching. My other half is
No,
much
no.
better.
You have learned your reach. You know your reach now. And the meaning of learning is to reach beyond, is it not? You came into this world no better than an animal. You grew, you learned, you reached further as you were meant to, and as I knew you would. You've ever done so.
My reach may have doomed this city, possibly this world, if I'm not careful. I mean to set that right.
And for these reasons, you would wish to correct me, Cameron. And you can sort of see a smile as it says, like, correct me, Cameron, because it's just been saying, like, no, 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 I know what this is about.
Yes.
You want the the first to fall and her entourage to be cast back into the void so that you will have more time to retrieve the lost crown of Dulciriath and
True crown.
to do what exactly after that is complete?
Well, it was, like I said, it was to bring bring our people back together, and by stepping out into the light with the crown to get the dwarfs to come with, as well as the elves. There are 3 crowns, and I have 3 companions of each kingdom.
One hears that there's a 4th crown these days.
So
And
they
you can see
say.
a smirk on this like semi-human figure, which is forming up to be a humanoid person with a clearly a large, like human-sized fox head.
Well, since you already know, it was my intention that Wraithwin would bear that crown one day.
Why?
Well, I think deep down that we are similar. She wishes to seek redemption for her actions, and I think that would be befitting.
You think
Justice may not be the right
penitence?
word.
You think
Penitence.
penitence makes for kings, queens, princes?
Perhaps.
Remorse?
Or redemption, I think.
Hmm.
She has lived too long. Just
That
like
would
the
be
king.
that would be interesting. I'll grant you that much.
I will admit that she was the last note on my list, probably the hardest to convince if it came to that.
Hmm.
But not impossible. I
Curious.
think if I retrieved the crown and I was able to locate the other 2 crowns,
Well,
that would be more persuasive.
well,
Time.
the crown of the mountains is, of course, within the vaults of the king in the mountain. That is very easy to locate. The crown of silver stars is upon the brow of the high king of the elves. I would say very easy to locate, which is true. But one hears that perhaps the time has passed the elves.
Well, if the elves leave, the crown goes with them, I would imagine. This is why the time I'm running out of time.
I want to tell you a secret, Cameron. and you can see the fox face smirk, and it's become more or less solid now. So
Yeah.
it's it is like a humanoid fox man, with like a basic set of clothing from anyone you've seen on Rethil streets. Yeah, the fox smirks at you and says, like, I want to tell you a secret, Cameron.
Be my
There are so
guest.
few people that I can tell secrets these days. But I want something in return for that as well, separate from this. What will you give me for this?
For the secret or for the...
For this. We will talk about the secret afterwards.
Well, I already bear a mark, so another. What of it?
So what's the price for this range?
If this is the correct thing, then it's a soul and a
Other
mark.
so. Okay.
This is why I kept. This is why I brought Oscar
Yeah.
with me. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I wanted options. I just wanted options. I just wanted options.
And
okay.
you talked actual meaningful stuff with him as you prepped, all the while being like, this is going to be the man that I put under the knife. Cold.
See, you say he was like talking to him as he was prepping. He's more just sort of gently basting his soul, so it'd be like ready to go.
This is like, Cameron, why do you need the butcher knives? Oh, no reason. Yeah. So it's going to be a mark of this creature, and I will say here, because this was the intent, you're not getting your exact intent here because you didn't succeed in the roll, but your intent was do the same ritual, summon the same thing that you tried summoning before, and it is the same thing. I'm saying that explicitly so that we know that all these things are true explicitly. So you have done the same thing that you did before, and you've summoned the same sort of, you completed the same process here.
Something different's turned up.
The price for this, we didn't really talk about the price from before in any sort of exact mechanical terms, but the price for this is the mark and then some other soul than yours.
Okay, so it has to be another soul.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is, Cameron, that the bridge between the worlds thirsts for life.
I understand that.
You have read the texts. I know that you do.
I understand that my doppelganger he's prepared well for this. This is a well-conducted ritual. It will not be easy. I'm not try to fool you in such a way. I understand that this is a big ask. I do so not for myself, but for the rest of the people here. I would offer my soul as payment. You know this, which is why the smile has always found its way to your face. Well, you know I would offer, but I need to complete my work before I could do such a reckless thing.
I can smell someone who is afraid very close by. If you bring them forward, I will accept their spirit into my care. You can deal with the remaining thing with as you will. And then of course the mark, but that is what is a mark between friends?
Could you tell me what the mark would be?
I will gift you. What shall we do? What was that, John?
Go on, give him a tail.
I will. I should like to. Oh. I suppose I will turn this over to you, Cameron. I have some ideas, but I would like to hear your input. What of my essence would you choose if you could?
I guess I wouldn't respond. Can it read my thoughts? Can I? Do I
You
get
don't
that?
know.
Okay.
It's not sort of done any of that, sort of like picked a thought from your brain and answered it before you've asked it or anything.
Well, I already have the eyes. I guess that.
You do.
I suppose the thing that would make more sense symbolically would be to do something to my shadow. Perhaps fuse it with flux of firelight.
Shadow it is. Cameron, I would like to tell you another secret.
Well, I need to pay for this one as well. Or is there 2 for 1 when it comes to
Let's
the
call
back?
it 1 silver. This one. Not the first one, this one.
This one. That
It
sounds
puts
fair.
its hands together. Extends one.
I am. Oscar, could you bring over 1 silver for me, please?
No.
Okay, I'll hand it over.
Yeah. Palms it. It disappears. It says, it has taken me a bit to reconstruct myself here as you pulled me away from my previous reconstruction, which was much more efficient at the time. But I suppose you've harnessed such power, Cameron, that even though it was a bit more difficult this time,
I had a lot less time to prepare this one.
we have done it. We have done it, Cameron. And I am feeling like I want to remain honest with you, which is an interesting feeling. And I've felt that way from the start. Not that we've had much cause to talk and thus leverage honesty. But the little we have, I don't know if it's the part of me that allows you to be who you are, or what? Am I just being honest with myself? questions for a perhaps more wise time and perhaps a different age, I suppose. But in the name of honesty, and I can't believe I just said that. You wouldn't have heard any of that in previous ages, but I suppose it's good if I can still surprise myself. And it's sort of like caught up in this like introspection now.
I'm giving it an existential crisis. I've given it a sense
So
of
it's
surprise.
it's sort of staring into the middle distance, like some other time perhaps. And there's a rip, like it ripples the whole form, and it once it settles, it goes through like several different things. It like the hair of the fox head like goes from like it's a fox, it goes to sort of gray fox, it goes to blue fox, which what even is that? Completely like white, cycles through browns, and settles on, reforms the head into a human one. And once it's sort of done staring into the middle distance, it glances over to you. It is your exact image. You're staring at you now, dressed in a Rheothilan outfit. And it says, I guess I just want to see where we end up in this dance, Cameron. I started this to end it, which is a paradox that I really enjoyed. But now I find there's something else to enjoy as well on the way there. And I can't quite figure out why, and that's very exciting. You can't appreciate it, Cameron, but I wish you could. And well, I suppose. Hello again. Hope you liked the show earlier. But I don't think your companions did.
Not very much, no.
No, they didn't. So,
I just kind of cock my head like, this entirely makes sense to what this creature's nature is at the same time. God, it's got me over a barrel now.
if you bring over this spirit hunkering over there, not bringing you coin pointedly, I will take care of it, and we will see about your shadow. And I shall see what I can do about mending the seal that was just broken. It is going to be a very difficult ordeal. It will not happen very soon, but I will get started on
You
it.
literally just broke.
Well, I like to think that we should give composers, playwrights, various other directorial roles in the arts, all the credit due, as well as the performers, which I'm not putting any slight on Delion's performance or anyone else's, but I feel like we should give credit where it's due when it comes to good script writing as well. And I'll take that credit, but I won't take all of it. It was Delion. He is a very, very long descendant heir of a bloodline. I won't get into the details, but you were much easier to bring forth than he was. He was indeed chance, and well, I am luck. So that happened. So he was the execution. I was the preparation, really. I did give him the nudge and the creative help. But yes, to be rather more short with it, yes, that was me. And I do things quite well. I'm very good at doing things. So the seal is well unbroken now. To put it back together will take a lot of time, and I will need Delion or some other forsaken descendant of this bloodline that was almost exhausted sealing the seal the first time. But if you so wish, Cameron, and I find this situation delightful, you have enough power to conjure me, not once, but twice. And you're getting better at it as well. So, given all the givens, you have the power to ask this of me. Shall we make this deal? If so, the arts that I have gifted you will allow you to be so. I will see about the seal. It will take some time, but we will have our compact. Meanwhile, the hunt will continue, and I will discuss about other things at another time, and perhaps about the secret that I mentioned before.
I am
Do we
aware.
have a deal?
So I understand that you will fix the seal.
I will do my very best. It is not impossible. It will be very difficult.
In the meantime, are more things going to come through?
Now that would be telling. Shall we make another deal?
uh,
I couldn't resist hinting at it before, Cameron. That the first to fall was this time the second to come through, and I found that to be delightful.
It's been a very, very exciting time for you.
You
But I
have
should
no
point
idea.
out there are
You have
people,
no idea, Cameron.
the people of the city are dying in their droves.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The hunt is very effective, and also they have been away for several ages.
If I make
Ferthel
this
must be
bargain, could you at
thirsty.
least slow them down?
Do you want the seal or for me to slow down the hunt? I only ask because both will be full-time assignments, if I could put it like that. For Ferthil is not only very forceful, but also she killed me once before. And I have
It didn't seem to take, though.
clawed my way back. And the light in this being the sort of foxfires in and around it, and the eyes as well, like everything starts to dim here, and it gets much more intense. The sort of joviality is instantly gone. It says, I have clawed my way back from the void for this, and it took ages of the world, Cameron. You cannot imagine with your finite mind what it took to get here. I will not throw my life away so I can slow down the hunt and Ferthil.
Which you brought here.
Oh yes, and
You
it's
decided to do
the lights come back.
Yeah.
Oh yes, but not to destroy myself. I was destroyed already. That is not something I need to achieve.
It is curious you brought back the very thing that destroyed you.
To finally end all this.
If those are my options,
It is the end, Cameron, of everything.
but hopefully today is not that day.
Oh, no, not today, not today. But this is the last age, Cameron. This will be the age of the setting suns and shattered moons. The stars will dim alone above a barren earth. I have deemed it so.
If that is to be the case, then I will Do better than my ancestors did, and I will do something about it.
Your ancestors did. But they failed me at the end.
I'll take that one for free.
You think you get something from me?
Cannot help yourself sometime.
But yet you have my wits. This is interesting, Cameron. Please die last.
I will endeavor to do so. Hopefully
I
you will
would
help me.
enjoy this to the end.
I'm not sure enjoyment is the word I would go for. But in this bargain, if those are my options and the time is what it is,
I can do both, not just at the same time. I will not throw myself away and crash the progress of the hunt, for that would be foolish of me. And I'm only somewhat foolish, you see, and I can hinder the hunt, but that will take considerable caution on my part, which will not allow me to fully devote myself to the sealing of the resealing of the seal, now broken. So you would want both. You cannot get both at the same time. Choose which one do you want.
the seal.
I will do this if you bring me a spirit.
Does it have to be now?
No. I thought you would never ask. I was looking forward to murder Cameron by your hand, but you, with your wit and a simple question, have sidestepped that, because now you have options, Cameron. Why do I say this? Why do I deprive myself of murder? Cameron, I want to commit myself to this strange honesty between us now. And I hope you have been honest with me as well. That would be unsporting of you not to.
I think the first lesson you taught me was that I should play it straight.
You can kill him later.
Does it have to be him?
No. Any one of these castaway spirits will do fine.
Do I just have to mark them in some way?
No, we will talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
I will come back to you. I will leave you now with the shadow. I will come back to you for the spirit once the seal is mended.
Can you give
Accepted?
me? Can you in this deal? Can you at least give me a time frame
No.
of when the seal will be?
No. It is one of the great workings of the world, greater than the crowns, which I helped design. And I have done my level best at destroying it utterly. I'm very good at doing things. So it will be some time before I can mend this.
Well, I hope you enjoy building something instead of destroying something for a change.
I have built you. I clearly do. Don't think to chastise me for my ways. You are me, Cameron.
I am not
Everything
just
you are is because of me. There is nothing in you or your life or your actions that is not me.
I would disagree there.
Which I would. I sometimes do with myself. Witness this. I had thought it enough that you would bring me over the first time. But no, I decided to spare you. I decided to see where this goes because I don't know. It's exciting.
I feel like I can
Accepted?
hear like the distant sounds of screaming. This is not a. Very well.
Are we in agreement, Cameron?
Yes.
And you can feel the power that you're
Yeah.
holding go into the spirit in front of you, and he closes his eyes for a bit and then looks back at you. You look back at you. He says, "Very well then. Now that that is settled, I can find my own way. Unless we... Shall we deal in secrets, Cameron?"
It would depend on
I'm really bad at containing my excitement over this.
it would depend on the price. I have precious few with me right now. You saw to that.
How about this? Once you are, as I have made you, not fully spirit. So I cannot employ the same art to conjure you. How about you owe me one?
I owe you what
A
exactly?
favor. I will call upon you at a later time. It smiles a big predatory
I feel,
smile.
yeah, like the Matrix is like going across my face right. Oh, I have some counter terms in that case.
Yes.
This favor cannot bring injury or harm to my companions, for I do care about them dearly.
Your companions are?
Lavia, Tyrell, Wraithwin, eventually, hopefully. I just gotta look back. And in this manner, Oscar. So for this particular thing.
These four.
Eric as well, just those.
5.
Yes.
Accepted.
Very well. I will, since we are dealing honestly. Okay. I hope it's a good secret.
The first of the voices in the dark that I brought back was the voice of deceit. And that was some time ago now. And I placed this thing in the apple of the elf's eye, and the apple has gone rotten now.
You are responsible
And
for the elves leaving the.
I have triumphed. Almost. Over the High King. Not me personally, but the voice of deceit has, which remains hidden at the heart of Elvendom. They suspect nothing. And one of the voices from the darkness is right there. But this thing is even craftier than I am. And it cannot be seen by the elves for what it is. It is not Ferethil. No. No. Ferethil is as you see her before you die. No, this one comes bearing fruits and bounty, gifts, friendship, wisdom. And before you know it, it's gone too deep. The elves bought the gift, which I released upon them, and it's almost too far now. And the king has actually listened to this wisdom to the point where they have been convinced that it is the end for the elves as well.
All part of your plan to
Yes, of course.
bring things to an
Of course,
end.
much earlier than the opera. It was the first thing I did, as I said, and that particular story has almost come to its conclusion by now.
Curious you've left the dwarves till last.
You presume they need tending to?
Well, you've been busy in the city. That's the humans taken care of. The wild hunt.
I have to say it was less work than I thought. But that is because your people here in the city, they had the table all set for me. All I had to do was come and eat. The covenant was here. All I had to do was reach in, and they welcomed me as a, or you. They welcomed me as you, as a gifted and devoted believer. And I have done my level best at steering them right, keeping
have
them
done.
on the straight and narrow.
Well, what you'd consider a straight and narrow. I always suspected it was your hand that was reaching out to Riathil.
Shrines are very popular right now. I consider that a success. Anyway, that is not what the secret was about. The secret was about the fact that I have conjured two of the voices from the dark now.
The first being given to the elves, and the second.
Yes. The second is, well, some distance now, but here. Well then, Cameron, I have a task to tend to that will take a lot of my attention and effort for the next little while. So it slaps its hands together. I will be taking my leave. And I will be back to discuss the terms of payment.
And the favor, no doubt.
Of course. Don't be ashamed of who you are. I'm not. And he walks out of the summoning circle into the chapel. And if you do, when you next glance to your shadow, it will have been changed.
Yeah, I guessed. I kind of felt like it should be a reminder of what powers I've summoned this evening. Can I ask a quick question as well?
Yes.
So he mentioned of this thing, whatever. I suppose opposing a gender on it is a bit daft. This thing mentioned voices of the deceit, voices of darkness, correct?
Yeah, voices from the dark. And
Voices from the dark.
Previously, you already knew that one of the sort of epithets of Ferthil was the voice of hatred.
Voice of hatred.
And he called this other thing the voice of deceit.
Do I know how many voices of the dark there are?
We will be rolling for that next session.
Okay. Right, that's what I was curious about. I was
Yeah.
like, I think that's a thing. There's like a ladder here, and we're working up that ladder
Mm-hmm.
of the voices, and I need to know where we are right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we need to start wrapping up here. So I think what happens is he walks into the chapel and gets one of the benches and like smashes out like the window next to the door. Just walks from the bench through the window and out.
Okay, exactly like me. Looking
Yeah,
exactly like
he
me.
looks like you as he goes. But you know that that's not something that necessarily will remain. Like it
No.
doesn't seem to be like a big problem for him. And Glarvir, you have successfully managed to sort of bargain to continue the themes here. You have successfully bargained with the horse because it's not the first time someone has ridden on that horse, so it's not a strange thing to it. And you can have that horse with you. You have encountered Cameron's familiar, which you know to be the only one of its kind you've seen. That's been searching out for you. What do you do once you find the familiar, which is sort of doing the thing? I was like,
Okay, so I'm assuming, like you say, 'cause I bargained with the horse, I maybe like fed it a bit of my food or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I'm going to basically. How big is your familiar, Cameron? Is it like?
It's like it's not teeny tiny. It's like I'm trying to think of like a dog size thing, like maybe like a kind of a border collie kind of British pit bull kind of size. It's like, but like it's all like fox. It's a fox, but it's like kind of. You might just got kind of brightly colored, this kind of shimmering core to it.
So I'm basically going to
It's
climb.
white actually.
I'm going to
Like a
climb
white
up on
shimmer
my my new horse, and then I'm just going to be like, "Well, go on then, lead the way," and I'll sort of like look down at the
Yeah, and it does. It squeaks every now and then and turns to look.
and I'm just going to be like very
Mm-hmm.
gentle, sort of like trot, like as I'm still sort of getting used to the horse and sort of like follow after it.
Yeah. So you follow along. It leads you to this chapel where Cameron, unless you immediately vacate, you and Ostor will meet.
I'll
with
need a few
Glarvir.
minutes.
Yeah.
Just like
This is like,
just
sit down for a minute.
just
You'll probably be sort of like awakened out of your reverie by a loud, bellowy voice from outside. I'll be like, Cameron! Cameron, are you in there, man?
And you hear the of the fox sort of crying.
takes a few seconds, and then you say, "Yeah, I'm here, Glavier. I am in here with Oscar." Ostor. Keep saying his name
Ostor,
wrong.
yeah.
Ostor.
And then if you dismount and go check it out, that's where we'll sort of
Yeah.
cut it. And you have reconvened at this empty chapel, say for yourselves and Ostor and your animal menagerie. And we will close it at that, and we'll continue from something else next time.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed the session. Grateful.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right. So obviously we've got Arthur and whatever to sort out, but I'll stop the stream here.